Do you have things that you really don't want others to know about you? I'm not talking about skeletons in your closet or the twisted things you might think about when trying to fall asleep. I'm talking about things you don't seem to have control of, things that seem to be just ingrained in you. Your Myers-Briggs personality type uncovers your strengths and shortcomings, as well as who you are at your best and worst. Independence, self-confidence, and self-sufficiency are the best INTJ personality traits, but as with all different types, the INTJ has very specific things they really don't want you to know about them. In some social contexts, INTJs may not be the friendliest. Okay, in a lot of social situations, but they can still be quite confident in themselves. It's not that they don't trust themselves to be nice or outgoing. It's just that, as an introvert, they prefer circumstances with very little stimulation. INTJs are also extremely independent and require the freedom to be the person they want to be at all times. For every strength that the INTJ personality type possesses, there are aspects of themselves that they would prefer you simply not know about at all. Today I'm talking about 7 things INTJs really don't want you to know about them. Be sure to watch until the end of today's video. I really want to know what your thoughts and experiences are with these things you don't want others to know about you as an INTJ. Let's get into it. Welcome to Success for Breakfast, where I'm serving up brain food made simple. Hit that subscribe button to get the latest videos created to give you the tools to level up your life. Starting things off for me today is that INTJs rely far too heavily on pure logic. INTJs use their minds to think, feel, and make decisions. There is absolutely nothing wrong with using logic over your emotions and having a more analytical approach rather than an emotional one. However, there is such a thing as over-reliance on logic. INTJs believe that everything has a reasonable explanation, and that as long as they apply knowledge and reasoning, they will always have a solution. Most everyone else has a good understanding that not everything needs to be examined and scrutinized so thoroughly. Sometimes intuition and instinct are effective ways to address problems, while other times there are simply no right answers. Does this prevent INTJs from doing everything in their power to solve the problem logically and have the opportunity to prove you wrong? Absolutely not. It's who they are. Next up, and number 6 on my list today, is that INTJs are capable of being completely clueless. INTJs can seem uncaring and cold to those around them, making it difficult for them to form long-term relationships. Relationships and even friendships suffer and often collapse as a result of their inability to let their guard down completely. INTJs can also be highly judgmental of others, even if they are unaware of how critical they can be. So dating them or trying to be friends with them might feel more like putting yourself on display for them to tear apart, rather than genuinely learning about each other. INTJs are one of those types who do best in love and relationships when they aren't trying at all. The more they attempt to make a relationship work, the worse their critical behaviors might get. As a result, this personality type rarely has long-term connections. They sometimes prefer casual relationships because it eliminates some of the burdens. They don't need to analyze or dissect anything they know is going to be fleeting. Kicking off my top 5 today is that INTJs may have difficulty taking action. This is due to the fact that their dominant cognitive function, introverted intuition, is a perceiving function rather than a judging one. That's right, not to be confused with their judgment preference in the acronym INTJ. This specific function for them is a perceiving function. Perceivers prefer to accept life as it comes, whereas judgers actively create their lives, relationships, and surroundings. More proactive personalities, such as ENTJs, may regard them as complacent or indifferent. However, labeling INTJs as lazy misses the core of what it means to be a perceiver. Because an INTJ's primary task, based off their dominant introverted intuition, is to perceive rather than judge or act, operating in a passive state of perception is their most authentic type of work, a job that can ultimately be of enormous use to society. If you've gotten some value from this video so far, please show your appreciation by hitting that like button. That signals to YouTube that you think other people could benefit from this video too. Next up, and number 4 today, is that INTJs are excessively introverted, sometimes to a fault. Some personality types are far more comfortable when they have as little external stimulus as possible. These people are known as introverts. But no one is an introvert like an INTJ, which gets them into more turmoil as opposed to helping them recharge. You can look at this like an introverted inception. The INTJ mind has so many complicated layers that they can get lost in them. An INTJ would rather establish a perfect existence inside their heads where they can always be accurate and always feel comfortable, rather than try to set healthy boundaries for themselves and balance social activity with alone time. What makes things worse, not many people understand INTJs to begin with, and they are aware of this, so they just prefer a place where they don't have to explain themselves to everyone else. My top 3 today starts with an INTJ being distrustful of others. Defending yourself until you're blue in the face would be admirable in any other situation, as long as what you're supporting makes sense. However, when it comes to INTJ personalities, this ability can simply be agonizing. To begin with, INTJs struggle with trust. This is why their relationships and friendships naturally suffer. Second, INTJs despise being inaccurate. They assume that because they've spent so much time discovering the exact answers to their problems, no one can possibly disagree with them. Even when confronted with the actual facts, they will not only maintain their truth, no matter how incorrect it may be at times, but will also correct you or try to convince you that there are always 2 sides to every story. Now, an INTJ having the wrong information about something is extremely rare in and of itself. But believe me when I say that debating with an INTJ about anything they have put time and thought into will never end well. They are right and have the receipts to back it up a lot more often than not. In the runner-up spot on my list today is that when INTJs put their theories into action, they experience true personal growth. Because INTJs are designed to be change agents, formulating ideas and theories without putting them into action feels unsatisfactory. This is a double-edged sword, however, because as I mentioned earlier, an INTJ can have some challenges taking action because of their introverted intuition. However, personal growth and development for INTJs can be achieved by putting their theories into practice. Once this happens, they become a true force to be reckoned with. When an INTJ takes action and begins to hit mile markers, their concepts stop being fantasies. They can be validated, enhanced, and evaluated. Most importantly, at this point, an INTJ has an influence on their surroundings, which may be one of the most fulfilling aspects of their personality. As an INTJ, what is one thing you really don't want anyone else to know about your personality? Which one of these on my list do you relate to the most? Leave a comment and tell me your experiences and stories. Topping my list, and the number 1 thing an INTJ doesn't want you to know about them is that they are seasoned procrastinators. The INTJ personality type is the type of person that will fight back against something until it serves a purpose, which can be quite frustrating for everyone else. They frequently rebel against the existing standards because they refuse to be a part of anything in which people simply follow the rules blindly. This is not them, and it never will be. This rejection of rules and authority is one thing, but when it comes to INTJs, it's never just about one thing. INTJs are notorious procrastinators. They are always eager to do something worthwhile, but only on their terms. They're the types of people who will say they'll start working at 7, and then when the clock reads 7:03, they'll convince themselves that they'll just wait until 8. Any regimented atmosphere instantly turns them off. INTJs must be in command of themselves completely or nothing will get done. Procrastination isn't exclusive to INTJs, of course. Everyone does it or has experienced it. The thing is that INTJs are more susceptible to procrastination because of their unique combination of cognitive functions. Because of how their minds work, INTJs battle with procrastination more than any other type. This video is going to show you exactly how and why INTJ procrastination is so prevalent and how you can stop it to take full advantage of your INTJ personality.